sometimes we are self-sabotaging. We are our own demise because of our mindset. If our mindset is not for success and it's not for growth, then we have already lost the battle. We've already lost the battle. Hello, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Progress on Purpose podcast. We are a community of people who seek to be intentional about how we think and behave towards an intended goal. We believe that what we say, think, and do governs our ability to make progress towards our goal and ultimately lead to success. So in simple terms, it is the action of being intentional and making progress on purpose. Guys, I am so glad to be back. I missed you all. If you are tuning in for your first time, you don't even realize that I have not recorded since March of 2020, and we are now about to go into December. By the time this episode comes out, we will be in December. So much has happened, and as the saying goes, life comes at you fast, and that's exactly what happened, and I'll get into that shortly. But I'm so happy to be back. I have missed you all tremendously, and I'm happy to be back. So I hope that you are jumping back on the bandwagon. I hope that you will continue to stick with me, because guess what? I'm not stopping anymore. That's it. It's over for that. I will commit to weekly episodes. I will commit to continuing to give great content, because this is not just for you, but it's also for me too. A couple of church announcements. I am in the process of launching a website for the podcast, but just in general for Progress on Purpose. It's going to contain some nice, really dope merchandise, as well as links to the show. And don't you worry, it's going to be some amazing things on that website for you. Also, really excited to announce that I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. So stay tuned, because you do not want to miss. And guys, I want you to be a part of this journey with me. All right, so that's that. And then the last thing is that I am going to be starting a business spotlight segment. This is for you entrepreneurs, you business owners, you bossy people, I love it, who have amazing products and services that you would like to share with this community. I want to invite you to do that. So you'll hear that from time to time throughout the podcast episodes. You'll hear Business Spotlight. Know that that's what that is. It's my way of opening up the platform so that other people can share. All right, enough with that. I want to jump right into today's episode, because it is exactly where I am. Today we're talking about, or the topic rather, is stop stopping. Stop stopping. You know how it is. Whenever we start something, there's a lot of factors that go into even starting. We're excited. We have an idea. We have something that we want to do, something that we want to launch. It seems like a great idea. And so we go ahead and launch it. We jump out there. And right at the same time, it seems almost immediately, we have a bunch of factors that may cause us to quit. Those factors might include fear of failure, fear of success, laziness, failing to believe in ourselves. There are many things. One of the ones that really jumps out for me is fear of success, because I'm one of those people who can plan to the nines and have everything, locked and ready to go. And something sometimes stops me from press and go. And I believe that it could be a fear of success. But there are a lot of things, right? There are a lot of reasons why we stop. Sometimes we lack true commitment in the first place. You know how it is. It's easy to start something. The challenge comes when it comes to staying committed, right? So we shy away from the actual commitment piece, and we'll say things like, I need to do this, or I should do that, or I like to do that, using that limiting language. But those are not commitments. All those are our wishes, right? We do this so that if something bad happens or somebody says something that we don't like, we can shy away from it. We don't have to move forward with it because we didn't commit to it. Another reason why we may stop simply is because we lack accountability. We have all these great ideas and we'll put things in motion, but then we're not accountable to anybody. We don't have a checks and balances system that allows us to stay in the race, right? And what's so important about all of this is that it's really a mindset. It's really a mindset. If we have the power to stop, we truly also have the power to keep going. But it is a learned action. This mindset, this not giving up mindset, is something that we have to learn. It's something that we have to adapt to. We have to have this I won't quit mindset. And when we have that, it makes it so much easier and it makes it so much more likely for us to not give up. Let me tell you a quick story about me. I like to talk about myself so nobody else does. One of the businesses that I've had since 2016 is my sewing company, So Naturally Talented. And around 2018, I decided that, well, you know what? It wasn't an immediate decision. Life came at me fast, right? I got engaged, got married. Like a lot of things happened around 2018. And I took a break from sewing. I took a break from creating. And I would do little things here and there. But I also had this whole, you know how it is working with other people. Sometimes you just want to, For me, it was people don't want to pay what I charge to create certain garments. So you know what? I'm just not going to do it. So what I did was I came up with a product and I had this idea for this product, great product, created a template for it, created everything that I needed, did the legal aspect of it. And around 2018, when I took a break, I kind of took a break from that too. I took a break from being persistent about the products, being persistent about creating and mastering. And I even told somebody, one of my friends, I said, you know what? I think I'm done sewing. And even while I was saying that, it was still in my mindset to come up with a product, but that was all that I wanted to do. And even with that, I didn't want to be behind the machine. And I still don't ultimately want to be behind the machine. But I was ready to give up on my business in 2018, early 2019. I even told one of my friends, you know what, I'm tired of sewing. I'm really not going to do that anymore. And she was like, no, you're not. You better figure it out. You're going to continue sewing. That is a gift that God gave you. You need to get with your feelings and figure it out, but do not stop. So I started the podcast beginning of middle of 2019. And so that was my new baby. That was something that, I was giving birth to and kind of sliding further away from sewing. Well, lo and behold, COVID-19 rolls around. And right after I went to PodFest in Tampa, when I came back, not too much longer after, the whole country shut down because of COVID-19. And people started to say to me, Michelle, you should start making masks. I'm like, I ain't making no masks. Like, nah, I'm not doing it. And so people kept texting me and they're like, Michelle, are you making masks? Are you doing this? I'm like, So I made one mask. I made my mask, put my mask on my face, took a picture of it. Do you not know, not too much longer after that, inboxes, messages started coming in like, oh, what fabrics do you have? What colors do you have? Can you make this? Can you make that? Bop, 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 bop. And so Naturally Talented was back on the map. And thank God I listened to God earlier that year and moved my business onto Shopify. Did all the stuff that I needed to do for the back office so that I could have a store where it could support the business that was coming. And so, to make a long story short, I'd have made it long already, I'm sure. The business that I started back in 2016, had I stopped in 2018, had I quit, had I shut down, I would have never been able to first serve in the way that I served during this period and still am serving. But also my business would never have gone on the map like it did because I would not have been in a position to. So I know I took a break from the podcast, but I took a break because I had to. My first baby was crying for me. My first baby was ready to now walk, ready to now start running. And I could have missed that shift. And I'm so glad, I'm so grateful that I didn't. But I could have missed that shift because I wanted to stop. I was getting tired. I was getting annoyed. And then I had this fear of success with the product that I'm still in the process of launching. I'm still about to, I still have some things that I need to do, but I'm closer now than ever before because I made up in my mind that no matter what, I'm going to do it. No matter what, I'm going to go for it with it. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to not do it. I don't even believe God would allow me to not do it at this point. So yeah, it really is about mindset. And so here it is. It's time to stop stopping. No more breaks. No more breaks. I don't know what you are doing, what you're planning to do, what you're about to embark on, but no more breaks. No more stopping. Even if you have something else that you need to do at the same time. One of the things I realized was that God gave me twins. He gave me 2 babies almost at the same time that I have to nurture, that I have to build. And I use that analogy now all the time because I don't want to neglect one for the other. And the one thing I've learned is that consistency is truly the key. And there are some tips that I want to give, 8 tips that I want to give to help us to stop stopping and to remain consistent. The first we already talked about is mindset, right? Before God opens a door, he has to first open your mind. Sometimes we are self-sabotaging. We are our own demise because of our mindset. If our mindset is not for success and it's not for growth, then we have already lost the battle. We've already lost the battle. And our mindset has to be in a place where no matter what, we're not giving up. No matter what, regardless of what comes, we have to make up in our mind that we're going to be consistent, that we're going to persist, that we're going to persevere, that regardless of whatever life throws at us, kids, marriage, divorce, whatever it is, we cannot allow what we're supposed to birth to now be put to the side because we feel like stopping, or because we can't take it, or because we no longer feel capable. Our mindset has to be in a place where no matter what, we're not stopping. So that's the first tip. The second thing is that we have to have what I call our inner circle, where we can watch someone else who is doing amazing in their lane. And that for me is my friend Adrienne Blake. Shout out to Adrienne. If you have not tried her products, go to www.blakenco.com and check out her full line of body products. Her stuff is amazing. But what stands out to me about Adrienne is she's about her business and she's doing so many amazing things. She's super transparent. As a matter of fact, check the episodes because I interview her here on the podcast so you can hear her full story. But she is my person who I watch. I watch how she perseveres. I watch what she does. I watch how often she's posting. I watch what she puts on her social media. I watch how she is branding her business. I learned so much just from watching her. And yes, I can call her. Yes, I can ask her so many questions. But sometimes we just have to watch. We got to open our eyes to the successes of other people. And we don't necessarily have to know those people. Now with the internet and YouTube and Instagram and all these different things, we don't need to necessarily have somebody on speed dial anymore. We got internet mentors. And so watching her persevere, it pushes me. She's one of the people that are part of my inner circle that I can look to and see success. Now, does she have areas where I'm sure she is, not as confident in some areas she has her struggles, I'm sure. But nonetheless, she perseveres. Nonetheless, she keeps going. And so that's one person that I look to. So you got to have an inner circle. Number 3, be accountable. Have someone who can, when need be, talk you out of quitting. And I told you guys that for me was Amanda. Amanda was like, And you know what? Amanda's one of those friends who she watches from a distance. We don't have to talk all the time. We don't see each other all the time, but she supports me no matter what. And so when I told her I wasn't sewing anymore, she was like, "Nah, okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but you better get it together." And got me right in that parking lot. Okay. So she was that person for me. And not only is she, someone who can talk you out of quitting important, but just having an accountability partner, someone who you can set goals with or share your goals with, share your goals and then have checkpoints. Oh, sis, I met this checkpoint, I met this goal, and then move forward. Celebrate those things with your accountability partner and move forward. But we have to be accountable to someone. If we're not accountable to someone, we are just going to be willy-nilly and we're liable to do anything. Okay, us creatives, we could look to the left and get lost. Okay, we have to be accountable. Number 4, and this one really, this was everything for me, and I learned this so much during this time. Go back to your why. Go back to your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? When you know your why, it helps you to keep going. When you know your why, it motivates you to persevere when everything around you says stop. One of the things I did recently is I wrote down my why in my phone and I put it to paper so that anytime I need to be reminded, it's right here. And it's allowed me, my why has allowed me to say no to distractions because I remember my why. It's allowed me to say yes to courses and opportunities to learn, opportunities to network, opportunities to grow because I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. Knowing my why is what helps motivate me when I don't want to get out the bed, when I don't want to post or share or create. I know my why and I'm very clear on why I'm doing what I'm doing. I haven't always been that way. But now that I have set on this journey to live an intentional life and be progressive on purpose, I had to get to the point where I understood my why. Number 5, Find alternatives to reach the same goal. We all know the definition of insanity, right? It's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Like, that's completely insane. Sometimes we have to find alternatives to reach the same goal. And that was one thing that that's one thing that I'm working on and learning too. Like, I know what ultimately I want to be paid per year, or want to make rather per year. And I know that in my current position as an educator, it's not going to happen. So I had one idea, this is how this is going to work. But I keep hitting roadblocks. So you know what I'm starting to do? I'm starting to expand almost like my basket of eggs and find alternatives to put in place to reach the same goal. Diversification, right? So that we have multiple streams now that we can get to the same goal. Think about Peter in the Bible when he went fishing, caught nothing until he tried it Jesus' way. Okay, he tried a different approach and that approach worked. And sometimes we have to do that. So finding alternatives to reach the same goal is really important. Number 6, watch your pain points. This is big for us, guys. Watch our pain points. Know what those triggers are. What is it that makes us stop? Is it a mindset thing? Is it something somebody said? Is it a roadblock? Is it a lack of resources? What are our pain points? And sometimes those pain points are in our mind. We're talented enough to do it physically. We have the capability, but there's a roadblock there. There's something that we need to address before we can move forward. But when we know what our pain points are, we're able to anticipate them. We're able to now work around them or avoid them, find someone else to do what pains us the most, right? Number 7, succeed at something else. This is really huge because sometimes we're working at something and we're not seeing any results. And so we just chuck it up to our whole life is a failure when it really isn't. We have successes in multiple areas of our life that we need to now recognize. Maybe you can't cook, okay? Maybe you can't cook, but you can make a mean cocktail. Okay? Maybe you're not the best dresser, okay? But you know people who can help you get dressed properly and you can offer a service to them. I have a friend right now who's a stylist, amazing. And so her and I barter systems in order to get certain things done, like our own goals that we have done. Okay? I could dress, by the way. So, just want to put that out there. All right. And number 8, keep working on it. Keep chipping at it. Keep going. I did some research and I looked at a bamboo root. It spends 5 years just growing its roots. 5 years the bamboo spends growing roots. Now imagine if the grower didn't understand that. Imagine if the grower didn't realize that it's going to take 5 years before you can even see a result. It's going to take 5 years before you can start to see the benefits of what you planted. So during that time when the bamboo root is, or the bamboo is growing its root, the only thing that's visible is a small shoot. You only see a small amount of progress. A couple of congratulations here and there, a couple of likes on your post, a couple of, accolades here and there. But after 5 years, the plant shoots up to 25 meters in a short amount of time. So you know what happens with that bamboo root? It gets fast tracked. And I believe that's going to be the testimony of so many of us, that we spend the time laying the foundation now, starting today, starting a year ago, starting whenever you started, and you're laying the foundation so that you can be fast tracked once you're ready to go, once you're ready to press go. One of the things one of my mentors told me, Shariff James, I interview him as well. He says, he always talks about, he got to have, ducks in a row. Certain things got to be in line before you press go. Because once you press go, ain't no going back. And you want to have things in place, nets in place, people in place to catch those things that may fall by the wayside. All right, so real quick, I just want to run over the 8 tips. The first one was the right mindset. The second was your inner circle. The third, be accountable. 4th, go back to your why. 5, find alternatives to reach the same goal. 6, watch your pain points. 7, succeed at something else. And 8, keep working on it. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Progress on Purpose podcast. If you would like to continue being a part of this community of intentional people living an intentional, purposeful life, kindly subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Also, I need you to share this podcast with other people, okay? So go ahead and hit that share button on whatever listening platform that you're listening on, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Listen, hit the share button. Today's show, as you know, was too good to keep to yourself. I want us to continue growing together. I love you guys. I admonish you to keep making progress on purpose. If you're not a part of the email subscription list, please go to my Instagram and the link is in the bio. You want to join that so you can be the first to know when content drops, when the YouTube episodes go out, when the merch is added to the website, okay? I will see you guys next week. Take care. Love you.